From the Joy News Center. This is News at 8.
Hello, good evening and welcome to News at 8 on Joy News TV, on Multi TV with me, Matilda Nyakwa Dennis. Now coming up tonight, Ghana's cabinet completes review of the property rights of spouses and digital migration bills, which will soon be laid before Parliament for approval. The Ghana Police Service launches a new police badge to ward impersonators and easily identify its officers. Meanwhile, the service says the accidental death of 2 officers in Winneba on Monday would not deter them from fighting armed robbery in the country. Over 100,000 children in the central region are to be vaccinated against measles and rubella starting September 11th. In business, government says it will not rush into signing on to the Economic Partnership Agreement, which would allow 80% of goods from the European Union duty-free and quota-free access to our markets. The Black Stars of Ghana this afternoon beat their Zambian counterparts to qualify for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. And elsewhere, South African miners who have been on strike since Tuesday returned to work after a new pay offer. So we have all these and many more stories coming up shortly. Please stay. Now, in our first story tonight, Cabinet has finished reviewing the property rights of spouses and digital migration bills, which are to be forwarded to Parliament for debate and approval. Addressing the Presidential Press Corps at the Flagstaff House, Deputy Information and Media Relations Minister Murtala Mohammed said the digital migration of television is estimated to cost about $95 million.
According to Murtala Mohammed, government recognizes both the direct and indirect roles women play in property acquisition. Hence, it deems it unfair that women are deprived of properties in divorce cases.
The 1992 Constitution, Article 22, specifically Clause 3, requires spouses to have equal access to property jointly acquired during marriage and for matrimonial property to be equitably distributed between the man and then the woman, that is the husband and then the wife. The bill provides guidelines and workable standards. For 20 years now, we haven't had that. What Cabinet did yesterday was to look at that particular aspects of the constitutional provision and then approved it to be sent to Parliament. Under the customary law, the woman is not having any right, if you like, over the property. Government is committed in ensuring that some of these wrongs in our societies, particularly in our homes between the husband and the wife, is completely removed.
On digital broadcast migration, he noted there are no policy interventions yet targeted at helping persons who might not be able to purchase digital devices.
Migration from the analog to digital terrestrial by Cabinet, and it is going to cost the state about $95 million. It is hopeful that the state will be able to generate or pay the money within 2 years to 3 years, that you would have all the network, the TV stations and others moving from the analog to digital. It's a whole document. The document would have taken into consideration some of these concerns, that yes, we need to have some policy framework that would encourage people more or less. We need to do that, but it also involves cost. Government would have to intervene, and I'm saying that if you go through the document, you would understand that the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ministry of Communication, there are a lot of things that they put in place in ensuring that this is something that is achieved. But I wouldn't be able to stand here to tell you that, okay, these are A, B, C, D policy initiatives that government is taking to implement.
The digital migration has been in the pipeline for some years now and is expected to be implemented by 2015. Gifty Andoapia, Joy News, Flagstaff House.
So away from the flagship house, Ghana could be hit with another period of load shedding any day if natural gas from the West African gas pipeline stops flowing from Nigeria. Now, this is because the Abuaze T3 terminal plant, which adds 132 megawatts of power to the national grid, is still out of operation 4 months after it exploded as a result of overheating.
The Abuaze T3 thermal plant of the Volta River Authority was commissioned in February 23 this year to augment Ghana's generation capacity. The plant's additional 132 megawatts of power came in handy as the country was hard hit with power crisis as at the time of its commissioning. But on June 11, overheating of the 4-turbine plant led to its explosion and necessitated a shutdown. 4 months after, the VRA is yet to conduct an extensive investigation into the cause of the explosion and fully repair the plant.
After the explosion, there were a number of things that were discovered. Some form of, technically speaking, some form of corrosion took place, and we thought that it's better for the original equipment manufacturer to come and examine it and tell us exactly what is wrong, how long it will take to fix it, or whether the machines have to be replaced and all that. But there's no substantive report out yet.
The shutdown of the T3 thermal plant led the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to shed 230 megawatts of power but stabilize distribution as Ghana received gas from Nigeria after the West African gas pipeline was repaired. Some additional 133 megawatts was also brought on from one of the units of the Bui Hydro project. Ghana's peak demand is currently hovering around 1,791 megawatts and may increase with time. But the country still has no sustainable source of gas, and there are fears that load shedding is imminent once the T3 plant remains a white elephant. The VRA, however, thinks otherwise.
So far as where I stand is concerned, T3 is not creating any load shedding. I mean, you know that T3 was down long before we even had gas coming from Nigeria. I think the major problem for the country was the absence of gas, and since there's been gas, the situation has been stabilized.
So the question now is, for how long will it take equipment manufacturers of the T3 Abuaze thermal plant to come into the country to ascertain how the plant can be repaired as Ghana continues to battle challenges in the power sector?
I wouldn't know. I still have to find out, honestly.
Abigail Adumakwenchi reporting for Joy News.
So I'm sure he'll let us know when he finds out, and he will definitely bring you the answers. Now, the Ghana Police Service has launched a new police badge aimed at warding off impersonators and making it easy for police officers to be identified. The ceremony was graced by the IGP in Accra.
The Ghana Police Service has embarked on a reorganization drive to make it more effective and relevant to modern policing. It is also to rid the service of corruption and to enable it conform to international standards of policing. Hitherto, the only form of identification for police personnel was service numbers and a name tag sewn to their uniforms. This made impersonation easy and rampant in the service. It was also difficult for members of the general public to identify and report an officer who conducts himself unprofessionally in the discharge of his or her duties. But according to the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan, the new badges will enhance identification.
The new badge of authority would make for easy identification of all police personnel, those in uniform and those in plain clothes. It is also our hope that it would assist in checking all manner of misconduct by all personnel. What I hope it will lead to is a more accountable and responsive police organization, so that the trust and confidence that the public has in the Ghana Police Service will continue to thrive.
The police new badge is an oval-shaped silver metallic crest with the Ghana Police Service crown superimposed on it with the word officer at the top and a unique and permanent service number embossed at the bottom. The Director General of the Public Affairs Department of the service explains the rationale behind the initiative.
The badge is to serve as an authority for all police personnel in the execution of lawful duties. All personnel in uniform without the badge will be deemed improperly dressed and without authority to undertake any police task.
The service also used the occasion to thank all Ghanaians for their comportment during the election petition hearing and judgment.
Meanwhile, the police service says it will continue with its fight against crime in the country. 2 police personnel in line of duty were mistakenly shot dead by their colleagues on Monday near Winneba, raising questions about police operations and professionalism. But Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police Service, in an interview with Joy News, says the incident will not deter them from their core mandate of fighting crime. He spoke to Emmanuel Ante again in Accra.
According to the police PRO, Cephas Arthur, the service has learnt lessons from the incident, but that, he said, will not deter them from fighting armed robbery in the country.
In as much as the incident is very unfortunate, it is in no way going to affect our resolve to fight robbery in the country. We are going to commit ourselves to the fight against robbery. What it means is that the police officer is aware that his job is a sacrificial one. We pick a leaf of lesson from what has happened, and it rededicates and recommits the police officer to the cause for which he has been called. He's been called to provide security for his countrymen and women, and to provide security for their goods and properties. And we are going to ensure that we continue to do that.
So, could the accident have been prevented with a better communication?
We have the communication gadgets. But let us see this one as purely accidental. And you see, accidental. Other companies all over the world may have almost all the safety equipment that they need to do their work. But once in a while, they record accidents. So let us see it as such.
He also said the deceased families are being taken care of by the service.
The IGP was there the very day the issue happened and assured them that we're going to take care of them and ensure that everything that needs to be done is done. They are also entitled to certain things. I mean, the deceased persons, they are also entitled to certain things. The administration will ensure that they get it to their families. I mean, the accredited families, so that the situation is in a way mitigated for them. No matter what you do for them, they are lost. We have lost the officers. But then anything that the administration can do to mitigate the pain, to mitigate the loss, the administration will do it.
He, however, promised to furnish the public with the current status of the accused officers at a later date.
An international cybersecurity agency, Open Web Application Security Project, is calling on government to collaborate with corporate bodies and individuals to effectively address cybersecurity threats in Ghana. The agency has created cybersecurity standards for Ghana because more people are storing sensitive information on computer which have internet access. With the banking sector as the emerging target for hackers, corporate bodies and individuals are being encouraged to take protection of personal information. Ghana is said to be gaining ground in cybercrime lately. With an increase in popularity and geographical reach for technology, everybody seems to have easy access to information through the internet thanks to the rise in the use of smartphones. This advancement of technology, internet, mobile application, information processing and sharing has had both positive and negative impact globally. About a month ago, the CID division of the Ghana Police arrested some individuals in connection to SIM-box fraud operations in the country. At the inaugural workshop on cybersecurity, organized by Open Web Application Security Project in Accra, the organizers called for collaboration between individuals, corporate bodies and government to help fight the menace. According to the OWAP's Ghana chapter leader, Theodore Sego, the fight against cybercrime needs a collaborative effort between the government, information security, professionals and the community at large.
Software is designed to do specific tasks, and people sometimes don't concentrate or focus on putting the necessary security controls in place.
Founder and principal consultant of E-Crime Bureau, Albert Entry-Bosiako, told Joy News his outfit is currently working in partnership with the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service to tackle the high rate of cybercrime.
E-Crime project is a capacity building initiative, and we have different components: training, setting up of a training lab for detectives, setting up of a forensic lab to help handle cases, and also the need to track criminals through cyber intelligence gathering, something that we are also, setting up at the detective headquarters, CID headquarters. So this is the quite a bigger project initiative that we have started. And for the history of the police service, we've been able to train about 50 CID detectives. At the first level, but of course, because there's another way that we have to take.
He also cautioned individuals and corporate bodies to make the protection of their database system a top priority.
The threat, putting some best practices in place in our own organizations, like a policy that guide users of computer systems. These are very, very crucial, and training them as to the do's and don'ts. Password security, and you have instances where organizations in some banks are even using their private emails to communicate. A lot of serious breaks. So
Ghana needs to join the global network that will help build a secure cyberspace and to curb threats currently emanating from source in Africa. This is Joy News at 8. We'll be back in a moment. This is Joy News at 8. Now, the president of heads of private universities in Ghana, Professor Kwesi Yankah, is advocating the establishment of an independent body to provide accreditation and charter to universities. At the launch of the International Private Universities Conference and Exhibition, heads of private universities appealed to government to restore their tax-exempt status to enable them fully discharge their responsibilities.
Private universities in Ghana appealing to government to restore the tax-exempt status due them. President of heads of private universities in Ghana, Professor Kwesi Yankah, said most of private universities owe the banks. He said the perception that these universities are in good business should be discarded. He was speaking on the contribution of private universities in the globalization of higher education at the official launch of the International Private Universities Conference and Exhibition. He also called for the establishment of an independent body to provide accreditation and charter to universities, describing the current body as discriminatory.
We are looking forward to the day when an accreditation body itself becomes the final body that grants you a charter. An independent body. Well, we respect the accreditation body. We like the work they are doing. They keep us on our toes. But whenever it becomes ultimately a government-approved process, it's abused. It's normal. So we are just looking for, yes, accreditation processes. Yes, attaining certain standards in staff development, in academic output. Yes, attaining certain standards in staff-student ratio.
Now, still in the bulletin, 103,481 children in the central region of Ghana between the ages of 9 months to 14 years are to be vaccinated against measles and rubella from September 11 to 20. The new MR vaccine is a combination of measles and rubella vaccine, which protects against the virus of the two diseases.
Also called German measles, is a generally infectious disease that has similar symptoms as measles. It can be transmitted from person to person when droplets containing the rubella virus is discharged from patient's mouth or nose through cough or sneezing.
The reason why we are very concerned when it comes to rubella is the last point: congenital defects if infection occurs in early pregnancy. So if our young girls are fortunate and they are not immunized and they get pregnant and they get infection, then they themselves will suffer, and the unborn child will also develop problems. And the problems they will develop are not things we can manage.
Measles outbreak continue to occur in some parts of the country, mostly in children under 5 years, and available data show 20 to 40% of negative measles cases test positive to rubella. According to the Central Regional Deputy Director of Public Health, Dr. John Eliezer, the nation has made significant gains in controlling measles. Dr. Eliezer, who hinted the media about the upcoming vaccination exercise in Cape Coast, charged them to take up the role of educating the public about the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. Some children, Dr. Eliezer stressed, may react mildly to the vaccines, while the common reaction including fever, rashes, pain, redness and swelling at the site of the injection. These reactions, he said, are preventable if the victim reports immediately to the nearest health center. For Joy News, Georgina Appiah's report.
Now, as the world will be marking Physiotherapy Day on 8 September, staff of the Physiotherapy Department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital have embarked on a health walk ahead of the World Physiotherapy Day, which falls on September 8. Senior physiotherapist Alberta Emisa Roxon advised Ghanaians to patronize the department, which is now on the National Health Insurance Scheme.
The role of physiotherapy in the health sector continues to be an immeasurable one. Physiotherapists work in the health sphere of promotion, prevention, treatment and the rehabilitation of bone fractures. 8 September each year is set aside to mark World Physiotherapy Day. Physiotherapists all over the country will be marking this day with an official launch and symposium at the Cape Coast Hospital. This year's celebration themed Movement for Life is to create awareness about the role physiotherapists play in the health sector. Staff of the Physiotherapy Department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital embarked on a health walk to mark the commencement of the celebration. According to senior physiotherapist at the Reconstructive and Plastic Surgery Unit, Alberta Emisa Roxon, Ghanaians are gradually appreciating the work of physiotherapists. She said patronage of services at the department has increased because of the enrollment of physiotherapy on the National Health Insurance Scheme.
Ghanaians have come far with physiotherapy because now our medical personnel know how to relate physio to what they do. Now when you look at our statistics, we have more patients turning up to come and do physiotherapy, and especially after we were enrolled on the National Health Program. So more people can access physio and don't need to physically pay for it, because physiotherapy services are a little bit dear. So now that most Ghanaians know that they can access with National Health, they are able to access physio more. More of the medical personnel are also able to refer people, patients and clients to physiotherapy, not only for curative but for preventive measures as well.
She also encouraged Ghanaians to cultivate the habit of regular exercise to keep fit.
Now, residents of Abuabo and its surrounding areas have lauded government plans to construct a divisional police station and court in the area. They are excited because this will help reduce crime significantly in their communities. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more of the story.
For some months now, residents of Abuabo, Akorem and its environs say they have been living in constant fear of criminal gangs who terrorize them. A number of people have been shot and wounded already by suspected armed robbers. They say government plans to construct a police station and a court as an admirable intervention.
Building or bringing a police station in our community here is something that we are proud of it. It will reduce the bad behavior of our colleagues here, and also it will bring peacefully in our community.
They, however, express worry that some high-profile residents always prevail on the police to release suspects on bail whenever they are arrested.
Police for now, my boss is media majorly say, "Women, these are mistakes ever." Because which means will be alcohol chrono na alcohol and a chrono kitwa. Apart from that, it will be to me could dibony bone kese pa okuku obi anase wakoye obi ade a e won say like we was so much na eni kwa so mo man bill won be man bill kura was so mo man ndem be 3 months or 5 months no mo ntwe na sum kakra ba ni busu afo sori na so mo ko hu krom no anase area ne hini na no mo dia afefa echire saa ko hu police commander na say musa akoye saa de na sa akola ni pia obeka say no makoye we pie next time ye kura me say pie.
Residents want government as a matter of urgency to begin the construction works without delay and appealed for a combined police and military patrol team in the area while waiting for these construction projects to be completed.
Soldiers for the same police phone because say almost so police phone. And I can't first say, be a one some American or family who me home and America say soldiers never boss in police phone because soldier in only baby. But police na say bia ya honya wan ya ko police and I bia yen na tebro no ba ko enya una wuni na unu ya bi ni mu no soja no no akwatena ne nwura mama na adwene akrake nti onya wo wabushia family matter no na oba be fi oda bi problem na wo face wo sa constituency no and no pese ya solve.
Until that is done, the residents say they would continue to live in fear of persistent attacks by criminals they describe as known in the community.
We have business coming up next with my colleague Abigail Adumako Enchi.
Hello and welcome to Joy Business. My name is Abigail Admakwenchi. Now to our very first story. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Neelante van der Poy, has reiterated government's position not to rush in signing the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union in spite of the October 2014 deadline. Speaking to Joy Business, he indicated that government is critically examining the agreement and will not sign on to any international treaty that would be inimical to the local economy.
Signing on to the Economic Partnership Agreement will allow 80% of goods from the European Union onto the Ghanaian market duty-free and quota-free, while Ghana will continue to have 100% access to the EU market except for sugar and rice. Government has, however, received several calls not to sign on to the EPA as the move could be injurious to local businesses as well as revenue generation. The government had till 2016 to sign the full agreement. The International Trade Committee of Europe in March revised the deadline to October 2014. But the Ministry for Trade and Industry maintains it is still in consultations with stakeholders and will not hurriedly sign the EPA.
If you read the Economic Commission of Africa Economic Review report, it tells us that if we depend on ourselves, if we trade in the region, we trade regional, we encourage regional trade, sub-regional trade, we sure to increase our revenue and benefits from trade by close to 22%. Whilst if we continue to depend on the international markets, for example, our traditional international trading partners, we're only going to get just about 2% to 6% of those markets. Government has taken into consideration all those concerns, and that's why government is really looking at it. That's why we have not been too much in a haste to sign it. We don't want to really just go and commit Ghana into something that at the end of it all, Ghanaians will not be too happy. We want to bring all the stakeholders involved. Then we can all as a people decide that this protocol is good for us or it's not good for us.
For government, local businesses remain the bane of the Ghanaian economy, and hence it will not relent in supporting them with a lot more incentives.
We want as much as possible to curtail this particular thing of Ghana becoming producers of raw materials and consumers of finished products. We want a situation whereby now we can add value to our raw materials and then open up our industry and manufacturing sector and create jobs and be able to keep money within the pockets of Ghanaians. So government is determined to support our local and manufacturing industry through the Association of Ghana Industries and the Employers Association, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, so that they together with government we can partner to be able to evolve schemes that will make incentive packages and support and motivational support for these industries, local industries, very effective.
Government also intends to expand and restructure the Export Development and Agricultural Investment Fund (EDIF) to make it more accessible to the local exporters.
Now, the ban on the movement of livestock in and out of the Wa municipality is now putting pressure on poultry and fish products. Consumers of meat and from cattle and other livestock now have no option than to switch to guinea fowl and smoked fish. Patronage of imported poultry sold at cold stores have also gone up. The rise in consumer demand means the prices of guinea fowl, smoked fish and imported chicken have also shot up. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Since the ban on the sales and transportation of animals in the Wa municipality following the anthrax outbreak at a piggery in Banguri, demand for fish and poultry products is on the rise. This has resulted in a sharp rise in prices at various sales points, putting pressure on restaurants and chop bar operators. This chop bar operator, Hajia Shirini, has been selling fufu here for close to 30 years, and her customers patronize her fufu because of the meat prepared from hide. But now she is forced to use smoked fish instead of the usual hide. This situation isn't different from restaurants and chop bars in the municipality. They either have to rely on cold store operators for fish or the Wa Fadama market for guinea fowls. A visit to the Wa Fadama market revealed a very high demand for guinea fowls, which of course means dealers are cashing in by charging more than the regular price. Aziz Salifu tells Joy News they are profiting from the ban on the sales of the four-legged animals, and he wishes the ban is kept in place for a while longer.
Good market. Now the people are coming. So sometimes the time that they were killing the cows and the goat, we were selling them 17, but now that we are not killing the cows and goat, we are selling the guinea fowls 2020.
However, the situation isn't that good for goat and sheep dealers, as some of them have completely deserted the market, leaving the animals behind. One of the few people still remaining is Mohandi Salifu, popularly known as Sunshine.
It happens that it affects us a lot. So we are appealing the government to help us to inject the animals so that the sickness will go and we also get something small to look after our children and our.
For Joy News, Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
Now, for those of you who love to cook, there is good news, as Unilever Ghana Limited is out with a new improved Royko Shrimp powder containing 13 new ingredients that will give your soup a unique taste and an unbeatable aroma. The powder comes in 2 attractive packs, one for stews and the other for soups.
Royko believes that everyone should be able to prepare and enjoy good food every single day of the week. Good food has the magic of touching all our senses with exciting aroma, good taste, and actually putting smiles on our faces. A touch of the new Royko Shrimp powder to your meals, officials say, will definitely transform every meal moment and make it very special. Try the improved Royko Shrimp 13 new ingredient powder. Unilever's quest to provide its consumers with the best product is introducing the Royko 13 new ingredient powder, which it says is tastier and contains less salt. The group went round and engaged market women and passers-by to have a feel of the new product. Officials maintain the aroma of Royko 13 new ingredients easily whittles away the smiles and years, so that no matter where you are, in the office, at school, on a business trip, on vacation, in a faraway land, you become instantly reunited with the people and memories you cherish the most. They add, while it unites the members of a home, it can also differentiate one home from another. In other words, food also gives each home its identity. The Royko 13 new ingredient is available in all leading supermarkets and shell shops and local markets across the country.
And on that Royko Azonto note, we wrap up for business. Matilda Nyakwa Dennis comes up with international news.
Sports is brought to you in association with.
Time for the very latest in the world of sports. What there is really to talk about again. The Black Stars have made it proud, and the Black Stars kept themselves in contention to reach a third consecutive World Cup after defeating Zambia 2-1 to reach the final round of African qualifying. A goal in each half by Majid Waris and Kwadwo Samoa was enough to withstand a second half Chipolo fight back to Nathan Sinkala. Here are some highlights of the game.
Looking for Jan, but Suzu was there. But here's Waris. Oh, that was an excellent attempt. Looking for John Boy. Wow! The goal has been given. The goal has been given. John Boy fired it in, and it's an own goal. The first goal for the Black Stars. Let's take a look at that again. The ball was missed. John Boy manages to keep the ball in play, and Warren just hits the ball into the back of the net.
It was a moment of confusion from the Zambians because they thought that there was a foul in the 80-yard box against Boy, and the referee never gave that. Good goal.
And win. And then the other options can be discussed later. That's a shot. Oh! What a goal! Kwadwo Samoa. Kwadwo Samoa has done it. What a hit! Fantastic goal. Kwadwo Samoa has done it right from the centre back. Can I tempt fate and say that the Black Stars are almost there? Or should I say they are there? What a goal, what a hit.
Was sent in there, most of the players would have realized that this was a clearance, and that followed it up.
Well, let's see what this corner brings for the Zambians. And that's a great goal. That is a great goal. Nathan Sinkala has buried it to bring it to 2-1.
The ball was clear. The Black Stars could have avoided this. What was the one? Just realized that.
Head coach Kwesi Appiah was excited after the team's win, but he indicated the rough edges will be worked on immediately.
Kwesi, it must be a very satisfying result. Now you're only one match away from Brazil 2014.
Yeah, I said that, Zambia has got a very good team. It's not going to be an easy game. And we all saw it, that what we needed to do is make sure that we don't concede any goal. And then, secondly, we tactically defend and rely on counter-attacks, which I think the players did very well.
Would you say that you were very satisfied with the structure of your team?
In actual fact, it wasn't my expectation as to how we played. But tactically, we needed to either get a win or get a draw. And the most important thing, our ambition was to try and get a win, which I think the players did very well together.
Right, so that is the coach. Let's hear from a section of the 25+ million coaches, some fans. We spoke to them.
Snavo did very, very, very well. He dominated very, very well. So I think this match was a very perfect match. And we know we get into the World Cup, we are going to do much better than this.
Usually at the end justify the means. At the end of the day, we have been able to carry the day. But I wasn't so much enthused about the performance. I was expecting a better play than what they have done. But as usual, as I said, I'm cool. What we need is the results.
I want to thank God for winning this match for us, and I'm so happy about Michael Essien coming back to the team.
It's like the Zambians played very well. They've played cohesive football more than us, but we're just lucky to scrape through.
Right, so it's been a good week. We hope it's going to be a great weekend. My name is George Addy Jr. Have a great evening.
Sports was brought to you in association with.
Smile. You've got to go.
A 22-year-old Kumasi resident, Rian Kosa, has won the third season of the Vodafone Icons Street Edition. He beat off competition from 3 other contestants, including one of the favorites, Buddha, younger brother of Carl Kese, to take home the 250,000 Ghana cedis prize package.
After about 3 months of keen competition and perhaps lots of fun, the 22-year-old Kumasi-based talent emerged the lucky winner of the 2013 Vodafone Icons, the Street Edition. Ran, who had earlier said that he is a real entertainer due to his affiliation with some music studios, beat 3 other contestants to the ultimate prize. He becomes the 3rd winner of the competition since it started, coming after R&M and Black and Peach. Ryan is driving home this Kia Sportage, which is part of the 250,000 Ghana cedi price package. He gets a record deal with Universal Records, Samsung products, and other exciting products. Each of the final 4 contestants also gets a single track that has been professionally produced by the end of the competition, and the song will be put on the competition's website for public access.
So all is well that ends well. Would have to end the bulletin tonight, but let's look at stories that made headlines. Ghana's cabinet completes review of the property rights of spouses and digital migration bills, which will soon be laid before Parliament for approval. The Ghana Police Service launches a new police badge to ward off impersonators and easily identify its officers. Meanwhile, the service says the accidental death of 2 officers in the Winneba area on Monday will not deter them from fighting armed robbery in the country. Over 100,000 children in the central region are to be vaccinated against measles and rubella starting September 11. In business, government says it will not rush into signing on to the economic partnership agreement, which will allow 80% of goods from the European Union duty-free and quota-free access to markets. And the Black Stars of Ghana this afternoon beat their Zambian counterparts to qualify for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. And on that very exciting note, we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for staying. My name is Matilda Nyakwa Dennis. Do have a good evening and a lovely weekend.